Good morning.
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 Let's have a little more energy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our service is now starting. Our prelude is number 131 from the Gray Hymnal, Love Will Guide Us. Please sing along.
Within you can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Joanna Foley, and I would like to welcome everyone to the Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalists, and a special welcome to our friends on Zoom. Wave. We are a part of the free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within the beloved community. Please silence your cell phones. If you have any announcements for later in the service, please write them down and give them to Jeff back in the audiovisual corner. Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California, located in the stolen territory of the Ohlone people. We honor them today and always for their wisdom and resilience. I believe Prince is now going to do the opening words.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be back with the BFUU community, and I'll now give the opening words. We do have a slight echo on Zoom, so as we proceed, maybe we could work on that. As we gather today, we hold space for the kind of love that doesn't always shout, but stays. The kind that stretches across time, carries burdens quietly, and shows up again and again. Whether you're holding joy, exhaustion, gratitude, or questions, come just as you are. You are seen, you are held, and you are home. Thank you.
One quick note, please do not record any part of this service. BFUU records it, and the services are posted on the website. Now is the time for our chalice lighting. Please light your own chalice, our candles at home now, while we light this communal chalice for all of us, a symbol of our tradition and the spirit that lives within every one of us. Please read with me our unison chalice lighting, which can be found in your order of service. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our living covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths in life, and to help one another. And now we light our red candle. We light our red candle to mourn Black lives taken by police violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. Let's sing number 8 from our gray hymnal, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit.
Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, who am I? I have emptied my glass from the what is gone. Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts. Take our breath and let our voices sing our hearts. Take our hands and let us work to shape our hearts.
Our responsive reading is number 468. We need one another. We need. I have a feeling that I asked someone to do this, and I have to confess I've forgotten who. Was it you, Jillian? Okay. Phoebe says, just do it. I'm here. Okay. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another in the hour of a success when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. Now for our meditation. In a moment, I will sound a chime to lead us into our time of silent meditation. Jeff had me practice, so I'll get this right. Please get comfortable and follow your breath to your inner stillness. I will ring the chime a second time at the end of 2 minutes. Are there any joys and sorrows, Jeff, from our friends on Zoom? Okay. The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and to ask for community prayers and support. Each week, we lay out a book that you are welcome to write in about your joys and sorrows. And apparently, we've been in neutral this week, no joys and sorrows. You can also write in the book after the service. Now is the time we say aloud the names of anyone we want to send support and loving energy to.
Eris and Jennifer. Christine. Sam. Luna.
Now we move on to the silent part of our morning ritual. It's the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that we wish to bring into community, but is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, we have a symbolic action that you can take. You can walk down the center aisle, choose a stone or stones, and immerse them in the water, which represents us as a community. For all that we have shared and all that we will share in our ongoing lives together, may we be grateful. Today's meditation song comes from the Buddhist tradition and is found in the order of service. Please join in singing while Elizabeth leads us in song. Please join the choir in singing Somos el Barco, page 242 in the Rise Up Singing songbook.
Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you. You sail in me. The stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. The boat we are sailing in was built by many hands. The sea we are sailing on, it touches every land. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. So with our hopes we set the sails and face the winds once more, and with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me.
Thank you, choir. Craig will conduct our next reading, number 435 in the hymnal. I've got to turn to the page here.
We are come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together.
Thank you, Craig. Our speaker this morning is Prince Muraguri. Prince Muraguri is a developmental economist who recently returned to his home country, Kenya, after working at UC Berkeley. Passionate about using data for impact, he works on research that informs policy across Africa. Now navigating life as a new dad, together with his partner, Patricia, Prince is embracing the joys and challenges of raising their growing family. Many of us have had the pleasure of getting to know Prince when he was working here last year. So I give you Prince.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, it's really great to be back with the BFUU community. I had the pleasure of working and knowing most of you during my time in Berkeley. And it's been a great run. So I returned to Kenya a few months ago. We still have the little echo on Zoom, so we could check on that. Yeah, thank you. So I returned to Kenya a few months ago to have a baby with my partner, Patricia. And baby Leo was born 4 months ago on 19th of April. Now the echo's gone. It's great. Thank you. He was born on 19th April. And so we have a 4-month-old baby. And as most of you who have had the privilege and the blessing of being parents know, those first few weeks are quite demanding. You know, those long nights, where you have to stay up, you have to sacrifice a lot, and life changes dramatically from what you knew it before parenthood. And, you know, we do these things because we love our children, we love our family. And that led to me coming up with this sermon for today, which is called Love in the Long Days. And so even before I begin, let me just say that if you came here today feeling a little tired, feeling a little overwhelmed, wondering whether people see how much you really do, whether anyone notices how much you really do and how much you really give, this one's for you. We're not talking about that Hollywood, glamorous, happy ending kind of love. We are talking about the day-to-day, the everyday love that means sacrifice, that means grit, that means showing up even when it's not easy to do that. And, you know, my friends, that's what love in the long days is all about. So join me for the next couple of minutes as we share and reflect together on what love in the long days really means. I wish I'd have brought my son to meet you all today, but it's at night. Kenya is 10 hours ahead of California, so it's at night and they're trying to put him to bed. So if I bring him, we'll disrupt the sleep cycle. But I pass you a lot of greetings from my family. So The opening is called The Spark and the Slow Burn. We love love when it sparkles. You know the feeling. The fast hello that turns into long phone calls, unexpected texts, the inside jokes, and the butterflies in the belly. And Hollywood loves that kind of love because it's fast and passionate and dramatic. But today I want to talk about another kind of love. You know, it's that kind of love that wakes up at 2 a.m. to hold the baby while the other person sleeps. The kind of love that stays on the phone while your mother repeats the same story for the fifth time, or the 15th time, or the 50th time. The kind that changes a wound dressing, the kind of love that prays over a sick partner, that the kind of love that keeps showing up even when the feelings are gone, but the promise remains. And that, my friends, is love in the long days. And this love is not just romantic love. It could mean love for your country, love for your passion. It could mean your love for a given cause. So it's not exactly just a romantic kind of love, but it's anything that requires sacrifice and commitment out of the general feeling of love. And we have the myth of the constant flame. You know, let's be honest. So most of us grew up on a diet of love stories that end with a wedding or a kiss under the rain or whatever. But what happens when after the music fades? Alain de Botton once said, we fall in love not because someone is perfect, but because we begin to accept their imperfections as a shared burden, as our shared burden. Let's think about that for a little bit. We fall in love not because someone is perfect, but because we begin to accept their imperfections as our shared burden. And that's love in the long days. You know, marriage, friendship, faithfulness, these are not flames. These are fires. And fire needs tending. It needs quiet attention. It needs ongoing care. In Japanese culture, there is a beautiful word, gaman. It means quiet endurance with dignity, bearing hardship without complaint. And love in the long days often looks like gaman. It's not glamorous, but it's deeply good. And I also really admire the Japanese people because they are a very resilient lot. And of course, you know, there are some places like the island of Okinawa in Japan that's known to have people who live the longest. And, you know, they have some very interesting, productive life. They have the concept of ikigai. So I think they really appreciate the idea of sacrifice, the idea of the greater good, the delayed gratification. And so it's a culture that we can definitely learn a lot from. And this quiet love, it's the calm after the argument. It's the forgiveness that no one claps for. Because, you know, with kids, they don't clap for you when you sacrifice for them. You might sacrifice for a long time. And maybe even when it gets to teenagehood, they can say some really mean things. And, you know, it's not easy to take this because our hearts are not made of stone just because we're parents. And so the decision to keep working together, even when the scenery isn't beautiful, is what we're talking about today. Crossroads and crosses. So there's a Nigerian proverb. In the moment of crisis, the wise build bridges and the foolish build dams. In the moment of crisis, the wise build bridges and the foolish build dams. Think about it. Love in the long days means choosing the bridge. You know, it's a forward-thinking kind of approach. It means seeing beyond the crisis. It means also thinking of something that would benefit not just you, but others. And love in the long days it also means choosing the bridge even when your partner is no longer easy to love. Some of us are caregivers. to friends, to family. And that's not easy to love. Or when the friend ghosts you, ghosting, it's a funny word, but yeah, there are times when you really come through for someone, and when it's time for them to come through for you, they're nowhere to be seen. They ghost you. Or when the country fails you. Like, I know a lot is going on in the US. When I was there, it was just the transition to the new government, and it wasn't easy. And so some people may feel that the country has failed them, especially people who may have sacrificed a lot for their country, people who have gone to war for their country, left their families, gotten injured, volunteered, things like that. Or even when God feels far, the kind of love that endures when God feels far, because this love in the long days could also mean love of God, or love for your faith, which can be tested very heavily. So let me share a story about Rwanda. I'm using a few examples from African countries. So during the Rwandan genocide, a woman named Immaculée Ilibagiza survived by hiding in a pastor's tiny bedroom with 7 other women for 91 days. It's like 3 months. They had no idea if they'd survive. They lived on scraps. They couldn't speak. They couldn't cough or even move much. And outside, their neighbors, who were people they knew, were hunting them down. Because if you're familiar with the Rwanda genocide, it was a genocide it was a warfare between 2 communities. And some of these communities were just neighbors who were living well all along for decades until, some politically charged conflict changes everyone's mind. And suddenly that person who was your neighbor is suddenly the enemy. And when this lady finally emerged and the genocide ended, do you know what she did? She forgave. She sought out the man who had killed her family and forgave him face to face, because her family had been murdered. She and some other women were hiding, but her family had been murdered and she knew who had done it, and she decided to forgive him face to face. And she said, "Forgiveness is all I have left. If I don't use it, I have nothing." And that is love in the long days. It's the kind that's not based on how I feel or what I believe. It's about dignity, humanity, and grace. And the joke of it all is, let's breathe, take a deep breath, because even some serious love must have some room for humor. There's this quote I saw. Someone once said that marriage is like a workshop. The husband works and the wife shops. I hope you get it. The workshop. And another person also said that love is blind, but marriage is a real eye opener. I guess when you're in love and it's new, it sparks. And even for me, I'd say I'm not as experienced as most of the people in the room, because I have known my partner for about 2 years now. But I know that when that turns to 20 years, it's a different story. It's not easy to live with someone under the same roof. It's not easy to sleep with someone in the same bed for a long time, so it takes a real special endurance. And cheers to all the people who have had the privilege of going through marriage. And, even if things may not have worked out, at least giving it a shot and getting somewhere and having some sort of positive impact on someone's life, it should be celebrated. So laughter keeps love alive. It turns tension into relief, and it's how we survive the long days. In marriage, I think you have to allow yourself to just be able to laugh, even at yourself. Because if you're very serious and you take everything so rationally and you're keeping scores, everything's gonna blow up. So when my partner Patricia asks me to pass something that is 3 inches from her hand, which happens a lot when the baby was born. I mean, before the baby was born, it happened a bit, but now after the baby was born, it happens a lot. So when that happens, I sigh, but I pass it. And sometimes we laugh about it, maybe not in that moment, but during a light moment later, I could remind her, eventually we laugh. Because if we can't laugh in the hard times, then we may lose the will to keep going. So this is an encouragement to keep laughing. Let's be comfortable with laughing at ourselves in a kind way. So let me give a few other examples of Jesus, of Ruth, of Mandela in this endurance kind of love. So there's the scripture of Ruth, a lady in the Old Testament, who stays with Naomi, who is her aging and grieving mother-in-law. And Ruth says, "Where you go, I will go. Your people shall be my people." You know, she gave her that covenant that she was ready to follow her everywhere she went, and her people would be her people. And that's not passion. That's a covenant. You know, it's a serious promise. And Jesus in the New Testament, in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was feeling abandoned and he was sweating blood, he knew he was going to die. He knew the daunting task ahead of him. He still says, "Not my will, but yours be done." And that's not comfort. That's commitment. Nelson Mandela, our example from Africa, from South Africa, who was in prison for 27 years, he emerged out of prison without bitterness. And he said, "As I walked out of the door, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness behind, I'd still be in prison." So even if he was going to be a free man, walking freely, if he didn't leave his bitterness behind, he was going to be in prison. And that is a kind of love that stays. It doesn't always feel holy, but it is. Let's talk about the caregivers and the quiet warriors. And many of them are in the BFUU room, because I remember interacting with some of you who are taking care of friends and family who needed help. The men and women nursing spouses with dementia, the single mother raising 2 kids while working 2 jobs, the teachers in overcrowded classrooms, the social workers, the nurses, the children sending money back home to families they haven't seen in years. And there's many such families in California. So there's a Swahili proverb, mapenzi ya dhati huonekana katika shida. Mapenzi ya dhati huonekana katika shida. Mapenzi is love. And the statement means true love is seen in hardship. That's when it really comes out. So this love is not on magazine covers, you know, but it's really holding the world together. And if that's you today, if that is you holding on, loving someone, loving something, enduring, you know, our Father God sees us, or the universe, or the energy, the positive energy that you project, it does something, and you know it will come back to you. We have those people who have love for country, you know, or the stranger or the faith, because love doesn't only wear a wedding ring. You know, that's not just the kind of love that is there. Sometimes love wears combat boots. Sometimes it holds protest signs, which the people in Berkeley and in BFUU have really done well in that regard. Sometimes it brings extra food to the child next door. Sometimes it stays in a broken church or a difficult neighborhood, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Think of the Good Samaritan story. It was crossing racial, social, and political divides to help someone beaten on the side of the road. Think of a father building a school in his village, but because no one else will. Think of a grandmother praying every night for a grandchild caught in addiction. That's also love in the long days. Let's talk about when the heart grows tired. If you've grown tired, and which is completely okay. I mean, we're human, we have feelings, we have limited energy. So if you've grown tired of trying, of loving without being loved back, of holding the line, you are not alone. Even Jesus was tired, and he was the Son of God. He asked his disciples, could you not keep watch with me 1 hour, you know. So there's a time his disciples had fallen asleep. And even there's a time he fell asleep on the boat, and he just told the disciples, "You guys just do your thing. I'll take my rest." So you don't need to be strong to be faithful. Sometimes just staying is strength enough. Just sticking around. In Filipino culture, there's a saying, ang tunay na pagmamahal ay sinusubok ng panahon. Okay, I think I literally murdered the statement. If there's a Filipino in the house, I'm sorry, but it also just says true love is tested by time, which is similar to the Swahili saying that I read a while ago. And in the end, no one will remember how perfect your life looked online, but they will remember if you loved them in the long days. In the end, that's what will matter. When they were sick, when they failed, when they stopped believing in themselves, if you loved them, that is your legacy. And as Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And I always appreciate the people of BFU because you guys made me feel great. A lot of you came through for me in very special ways. So as I close, we do a blessing for the long haul. To every soul here wary of showing up, may you know that love is not lost. May you be strengthened to go the extra mile one more time. May your quiet sacrifices echo through generations. May you laugh at the absurdities, cry when needed, and find joy in the slowness of real love. And when the long days come, may you remember you are not alone and your love still matters. Thank you.
We deeply appreciate you and your wise words today. And we particularly resonate with those words about the baby in the middle of the night. So we gratefully acknowledge all who work together on this service. Thanks to all of you here and in the Zoom room who are sharing our service. It's great to see you. Our Zoomers are Ben Birch, Bill Balderston, Jean Marie and Frankie, Jean Lieber, Luna, Mike Gardner, Simone, Sumi, and Virginia. Please check your order of service, our email newsletter for the announcements. If you're not yet on our mailing list, go to bfuu.org to sign up. Jeff, do you have announcements?
The Social Justice will have their monthly meeting today after lunch, so hopefully you can stick around with us and have a meeting together. Thanks.
Now is the time when we share our responsibility for the home which we're creating together. Our shared plate partner for August is Middle East Children's Alliance, MECA. The Middle East Children's Alliance works to protect the rights and improve the lives of children in the Middle East through aid, empowerment, and education. In the Middle East, MECA provides humanitarian aid, partners with community organizations to run projects for children, and supports income generation projects. In the U.S. and internationally, MECA raises awareness about the lives of children in the region and encourages meaningful action. let us dedicate our offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings.
Just wanted to let you know that Andy played a favorite song of Larry's. That's what he was playing in his honor.
Please join the choir in singing Lean on Me, number 1021 in the Teal hymnal.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrows, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, you just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Call me, call me, call me, call me.
Are there any folks here who are new to BFUU who would like to introduce themselves briefly? Some folks like to do this and some don't. It's totally optional. Okay. Thank you and welcome to all who are with us today, in silence or with words, in person or in spirit. We will have more time to connect with each other after the service and in the days to come. Specifically, the days to come might well be next Sunday, August the 24th. We will hear from Gregory Stevenson, who's worked at the San Francisco Unitarian Universalist Church. His sermon is entitled Radical Histories, Radical Futures. This presentation invites us to remember that our Unitarian Universalist lineage is steeped in revolt, the Jesus movement defying empire, the desert mothers and fathers renouncing wealth, the radical reformers risking all for freedom, the transcendentalists expanding minds, and the liberal theological pioneers of the early 20th century. Today, that same spirit demands we carry on our radical tradition, get to the root of our current polycrisis, and build an eco-socialist future, or face distinction. So now is the time to extinguish our chalice. Please read with us in the order of service. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Thank you for joining us today. After the service, you're welcome to stay and enjoy community and a light lunch. Now for our final circle, please join hands around the room and sing Circle Round for Freedom.
And for the benediction, as you step out into the world, may the quiet be gentle, may the loud be joyful, and may the ordinary be filled with wonder. Go with peace in your pocket, with grace in your step, and love ready to be spent freely. Amen. Bye.